What's up guys, here's another quick video on my buddy's DRZ-400. It's a 2001 model and I'm replacing the radiators. Provided me like fresh radiators, and this expansion tank could definitely be improved. So I'm gonna go ahead and improve it. We're gonna swap it out for brand new radiators, both sides, and a fresh expansion tank. The expansion tank mounts right down here underneath the air box. This is going to be a little bit of a pain to get to and to knock out, but it can be done. It will be done. So we'll take care of that here in a bit. All right, in order to get the radiators off, there are two 10mm bolts here. That side doesn't have directional fins here, but this side does. So I'm gonna have to pop this out before I can get in there. Let me grab a pry bar, pull it out gently, hope I don't break it. And there's two 10mm bolts right back here. This flathead will work just as good as a pry bar right now. There we go. Should be able to just slide it out. Cool. There's that. This radiator is pretty damaged. So the two 10mm bolts here and the fan assembly is also missing a bolt. I have to find a bolt to replace this side. I should have some. So here's the new radiator for this side. I'm gonna have to pull the rubber bushings out of the old radiator. So I'm actually gonna try to do this without making a big mess. So I'm gonna clamp the bottom hose and then try to catch the coolant in a bucket. There's not very much coolant in this anyways. I believe the manual says 1.3 quarts. So very, very little coolant, but I really don't want to make a huge mess in my garage. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this, put a bucket here to catch as much as I can. This should give me all the coolant out of this radiator and preserve what's in the block. We'll end up bleeding it when we're done anyways. But let's do that and not make a mess. All right, hose clamped. That's a Phillips head. It's a very small hose clamp on that bottom. Man, this thing is really cooked on there. I have to pry that off with the screwdriver or a pick. Maybe a pick will get it separated off enough. Oh, yeah, there's the coolant starting to come out. I'm not trying to damage this radiator hose, just trying to break the seal between the hose and the radiator because it's cooked on there pretty good. So when I pull this off, it should, well, even before I guess, should start flowing freely into the bucket or into my eye. Dang. That was terrible. It had a little bit of pressure in it. I should have probably popped the cap first. So when I pulled the hose off, it shot right into my face. I had to go wash my face, rinse my mouth, flush my eyes, all that good stuff to get it off of me. Do not recommend. Okay, so there really wasn't much in here. All right, so then I got to transfer over everything from this radiator to the new one. Okay. That was nasty. These tabs on the new radiator. I found one. Don't tell anybody, it's out of a Honda Track Pack. And it's a 8mm head, not a 10mm head, so. Do these Knipex adjustable, I'm calling them adjustable pliers. and they even give you the size. These things are awesome. There's no teeth on them, so it won't serrate the edges of the nut or the bolt or whatever you're undoing. It just acts like an adjustable wrench. So pretty awesome. Take off this radiator hose, but I'm gonna go ahead and take it off with my face not really close to it. Might just clamp this hose too. Oh, that one didn't give me trouble. Nice. Dang, these are really on there. There we go. Not damaging the hose or the radiator, just kind of unbaking them or separating them from the radiator itself, so I can slide it off. Cool. Yeah, you can see this left radiator is pretty damaged. I'm gonna have to take these off, the bushings for the new one, and these little sleeves for the bolts. This is the threaded side, what it mounts onto. So switch these over to the new one. Keep on keeping on. Okay, the solution I think I'm going to use is actually just putting some nylock threaded nuts on the back side so I don't destroy anything. Yeah, they're big enough that I don't need a washer back there, so cool. There we go, solution. And I'll start with the one that I think is going to be the hardest. All right, so 10 mil on bottom and 10 mil on top now. Man, this is going to be tough. Let me see if I have a magnet that'll hold it up. Snap-on promotional screwdriver for the win, assuming it lets me keep it there. There we go. Cool. I can squeeze my wrench under there and a piece of steel. There we go. Nice and tight into that thread lock too. Oof, just enough, barely enough. Barely enough. Let's get this last one in there. Yeah, hopefully these never have to come out, because this is going to be a lot less fun for the guy that has to take this off and replace it. Cool. So what I'm gonna do is take the O-ring off of the plug. It's a brand new plug, and switch it with the O-ring on the sensor. Perfect. Fresh seal. Switch out those rubber grommets and get this thing hooked up. All right, there's one over. Cool. Press these guys in. All right, ready to roll. There we go. Everything in place right where it goes. Whew. Everything except for the sensor plug, which I could disconnect there, but cool. There we go, ready to roll. All right, got the shroud on. Take all the slack out of these hoses really quick and tighten the clamps on. There we go. All right, so there's the left side. Looks good. It's It's looking really good. I just have to do the other side now. So I stopped making videos for a little while. I was starting to feel burnt out and it was getting hard to focus. One of the changes I decided to make was to improve my mental health. And just like a tool I use to work on my bikes, I found this. Magic Mind. It's not a tool in the sense of it's going to fix everything, but it's a tool and it helps support everything else that's going on. So for me personally, it gives me a subtle boost in mental performance and stress reduction. It's not like caffeine where it's going to give you a huge surge in energy and then make you crash. So it just helps your body make clean energy. So this paired with the Magic Mind Sleep, they call it the 24-hour package. Just because you take this in the morning, and it'll help you stay focused, stay a little bit sharper than you probably already are throughout the day. And then you take the Magic Mind Sleep. It helps you get meaningful quality sleep so that when you wake up, you feel completely rested and ready to take on the day. And right now, my friends at Magic Mind are offering 45% off the 24-hour bundle, which includes this Magic Mind Focus and the Magic Mind Sleep to help you get the full 24 hours of mental support that you need to be the best you while you're awake. In order to take advantage of this 45% off, go ahead and click the link in the description. This one looks really good too. It's gonna look really nice on there. Dang, no more turkey baster. Need that clamp. There we go, just doing the same thing I did on the other side. My coolant catcher over here. I'm gonna try this one differently. I think I'm gonna take off the top hose, tip it over. So let me take these out. Yeah, this radiator's super bent. It's hard to get this 10 mil back there to take off the bolt that holds it on. Man, this one's kind of cooked on there pretty good. Let's see, it should come out now though. A little bit tougher than the others. There we go. I have to rip it a little bit. I have to trim that back a bit. But I think it's on there really deep anyways. There we go. I'll take it on my leg over on my face. Yeah, this thing was super bent too. So both radiators are pretty damaged. Makes sense why it was a little tough. I'm gonna trim this back a little bit. Maybe straighten it out. We'll see what I do right here. Okay, so I trimmed it back just right past, if you can see, there's a little tear there. This was a little bit long anyways, so maybe that'll bring it to the right length it needed to be, so it doesn't have a little kink down there. Fresh right side radiator. It's gonna go right here. Looks like everything lines up. I'm gonna take out this plug, hook up the sensor, get this in position, get my rubber bits in place, then I'll be ready to go. Okay. Then I'm gonna do the same thing for this side. Take out the O-ring off of this plug and put it on the sensor so it's a fresh seal. Yeah, this one's pretty crusty on there. The way I've been doing the seals, I just use my, this is a Mayhew, but just using a pick and just getting a little bit under the O-ring, not trying to penetrate the O-ring at all, just kind of like wiggling the tip of the pick under there and kind of rolling it out all the way out to the floor. Yeah, make sure it's still clean, or clean it off if it got dirty. Just roll it right onto the sensor. Since we're not replacing that, I'll put the old one next to the plug, but I'm not going to use it, so no point in putting it anywhere. Before I get the hate, I know this isn't the easy way to do it, but I didn't want to undo the zip ties that are on the frame just to have to fight with getting them back in. So there we go. All right, plug in place. Start with this top hose. Cool, that one went right in. He's going a little further. This will mount here. That's actually a good spot for that. Let me get this bottom hose in. Cool, yeah, it actually went in a whole lot easier than I anticipated. It's good. Cool, everything lining up here. Let me get these hose clamps buttoned up. All right, tightening this bottom hose. Got it past that huge rib on the radiator. I'm not trying to hurt this at all. So I'm just getting this hose clamp nice and snug. Had a quick technical difficulty, the battery died, but I got the radiator mounted, the right side radiator mounted. I tightened the bottom clamp. Let me get this top clamp tightened up. And then we're gonna mount the reservoir, the overflow expansion tank, whatever you wanna call it. Gonna mount that over there. See how we get that in there. All right, let's figure out how to put this in. So it looks like it's just gonna slide in there. I think I'm gonna have to persuade it and then figure out how to run. Yeah, there's a little tab back here. So this will go like right next to the shock. All right. So I actually have to slide it in under here, over the chain, tilt it forward. There's a little tab on the front and there's a little slot right here on along the frame where the tab goes. And you'll see once it's lined up in that tab, you can just push it forward and that bolt hole right there lines up. So I got to go find a bolt that'll fit there. I think I have one already, a 10 mil. And then I'll actually be connecting this bottom line to the radiator, and then the top should just kind of flop down because it should never get that tall or that high. If it does, then yeah, then you got a different issue. So let me get that buttoned up. All right, so everything's installed with the exception of like a 3-foot coolant line that I'm gonna need to run from this bung here down to the overflow tank. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that later so I can button this all up, because as long as we're not running it, which I'm not planning on right now, I'll be okay. So I'm actually just gonna fill this up with coolant. I've got a bleeder valve on that side so I can know when it's full. And with motorcycles, small ones like this, I do always recommend using the manufacturer's coolant. This uses the X-Star 50/50 stuff. I've got it right over here. Yeah, so this uses the X-Star premix stuff. So this is what I'm gonna be using here. It says it should take 1.3 quarts, which looks about right. These are pretty thin passages, but we'll find out. And yeah, that's finger tight. So yeah, let me knock this out really quick. All right, so it's leveling itself. It's got the passages down here that go to the water pump, but it's also got this little cross passage here. And it should be getting close to full. We'll find out when it starts to, yep, just enough. A little splash came out on this side. So then I'll close up the bleeder valve. And truly when we start riding this, it'll circulate all the coolant, and then we'll be able to properly bleed it. This will be good for us. There we go. Close that and put this radiator cap on. Cool. So this is how you replace the radiators. Takes about an hour and change, but pretty easy once you get going with it. Not too bad at all. So that's all for the radiators. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and we got a lot more stuff coming. Thanks.